Hi guys, welcome to my channel ReadingBear Studio. Today I got a bunch of HOA stories for you. In the title story, an entitled HOA treasurer stole over $150,000 from the community and then get absolutely destroyed by the residents. Let's jump into the story.
Hey guys, welcome to ReadingBear Studios. I am JB's boyfriend and I will read you a few HOA stories today. The first one is titled HOA and the Crazy Demands. I came home from work to a letter from my HOA. It was noted on a recent inspection of the community that you are storing artificial turn in your driveway. Upon receipt of this notice, please take the time to remove this from the common area. No, that was not a typo from me. They want us to remove the artificial turn we are storing somewhere on our driveway. I surmise they are implying we need to remove a little strip of artificial grass that was a design accent from the builder of my house, Lena. We are only 2 years in as first owners of this house, and basically everyone here is a first owner in the 50+ home neighborhood built in 2019. So yeah, my house was also the model home. We did not change anything in the front yard. There's no way the inspector who lives in our neighborhood forgot that he or she used my house as a discussion point of whether they should buy their own house. It was just all around incompetence. While the HOA can legally amend the bylaws to not allow artificial grass for new renovations, they want me to renovate the design that was used to sell every house in the neighborhood with my own money. Talk about immoral. Pretty sure they cannot do that. I wrote a very polite email stating that while I don't object changing my driveway as I don't even like the artificial turf thanks to neighborhood dogs peeing on it on walks, they will need to finance the remodel as I am not spending money to change something I bought that existed before the HOA did. Update to the story, the HOA rep responded to the email with one sentence saying they are going to close the case and that they were sorry for the misunderstanding. They thought that we were storing artificial turf in the driveway. What a waste of time. I am a bit relieved it did not require more conflict to resolve this, as I'm sure many of you would have liked a longer story. My wife and I think the HOA, or at least one of the inspectors, were just trying to see how much influence they could push. There is no logical explanation where anyone could mistakenly install artificial grass as if it was on a Home Depot shelf. I surmise they wanted to see if we were pushovers who would avoid conflict at any cost and change it to the way they wanted without questioning them. I don't know what other explanation there would be. And yeah guys, we have seen that a few times now that the HOA basically likes to test the limits of people and see whether they are pushovers and comply with anything the HOA demands or not. In this case, OP thankfully exactly knew what was going on and stayed strong. I think either way you always have to stand up to HOAs and in general to bullies and show them that you are not a pushover. So I think in this case we can definitely learn from OP. This HOA story was submitted by a viewer and it is titled Treasurer Embezzled More Than $150K from the HOA. Today I will tell you the story of a homeowner association that embezzled over $150,000 from its own inhabitants, and to be more precise, this was the work of their corrupt treasurer. After years of questioning and independent research from a persistent homeowner, the former treasurer of the Lava Bluff HOA in Hurricane confessed to embezzling more than $150K. And guys, if I'm not completely mistaken, Hurricane is in Utah. Either way, according to a forensic audit conducted by a CPA firm, they believe she transferred even more than that, nearly $250K, into her personal accounts and gambling accounts. Homeowner Tim Mulligan said he had been noticing discrepancies with the HOA's financial report since 2018, but nobody would answer his questions or listen to his concerns. "I was just kind of told I didn't know what I was talking about," Mulligan said. "It was obvious to me, but a lot of people got lost in the numbers and figured everything was just fine." Mulligan never stopped documenting his frustrations. He continued pouring through every publicly available spreadsheet trying to make sense of the numbers. At first he said he never accused anyone of wrongdoing, he just wanted an explanation. "There should be a whole bunch of money laying around somewhere, and there just wasn't," Mulligan said. You know, I'm not a whiz or anything, but if you look at it, things were not adding up right. After years of bringing up his concerns at HOA meetings, eventually Mullican noticed some of the checks he used to pay for HOA dues were being cashed more than 50 miles away next to casinos in Mesquite, Nevada. Mullican said when he brought up his concerns to the HOA treasurer, she stopped attending meetings in February of 2022. It has caused him to think differently about the amount of power HOA boards have over its residents. My wife and I had heard stories about bad HOAs in the past, Mullican said. We came here because it was a 55+ community, fell in love with it, and we decided to move here. Brian Fast, a retired accountant, has since taken over as HOA treasurer. This has been happening for almost 8 years, Fast said. She had a gambling addiction. How do you know that? We asked. She confessed, Fast responded. Since then I have not seen her. I have not seen her since. The HOA president called Gary Marsick confirmed the confession. One of Fast's first actions as new treasurer was to place a lien on the former treasurer's house, which is now for sale. He said she admitted to stealing approximately $159,000, but he was not particularly confident the number she gave was accurate, and that is why he ordered the forensic audit. She inappropriately transferred funds to herself by making bank transfers to her personal bank account, by writing checks to herself for personal benefit, and by executing ACH transfers to casinos into her gambling accounts, the audit reads. The estimated total resulting from these actions is $248,269. HOA dues are typically only $60 per month. At first I was bewildered, then I was sad. I was really sad for her, said homeowner Peggy Brown. I trust everybody until they give me a reason not to, and then I find myself not trusting anybody. Steve Solomon, who's used to serve on the HOA board with the former treasurer, said he was surprised and disappointed. I wouldn't have imagined that you would do something like this, Solomon said. I think there should be some prosecution. The Hurricane Police Department stopped investigating because the HOA president chose not to press charges at the time. Some homeowners tried to replace members of the HOA board for failing to act sooner and holding private meetings away from the homeowners. Why aren't they being transparent? Mullican asked. Why aren't they in front of this mess? The HOA president and vice president have since stepped down, and the new HOA president has given police the green light to continue investigation. Hurricane PD confirmed it has reopened the investigation. It sounded really fishy to me, said homeowner Ken Alderman. She not only took the money from the HOA fund, but she stole from every one of us seniors here. The community is staying ahead of its bills for now, but the HOA does not have enough money for important projects like fixing the roads. All the money in the savings account is gone. All the money in the reserve account is gone, Mullican said. There is a water main break in the street up the road, and if we don't have money laying around for stuff like that, we don't get that stuff fixed. Homeowners now say their advice is to always review the HOA's financial statements as a team, to check with your bank to see where checks are being cashed, and continue to be persistent until you get answers. Did she do wrong? Absolutely. Should she be punished for that? Absolutely. Will she go to jail? That's not for me to decide, Fast said. And yeah guys, I think if you embezzle over $250,000 from a community, you should definitely go to jail in my opinion. But then again, I guess in history there have been people that stole even more money and for some reason did not go to jail, or at least not as long as they should have. These HOAs really remind me more and more of some kind of mafia organization/structure, and I don't think they should be legal in general, but there should be definitely some more government oversight. Let me know what your opinion is in regards to that, and now let's continue with the next story. The next one is titled, HOA Moved In on My Uncle. About 25 years ago, my aunt/uncle moved into a new construction single-family home neighborhood on a half-acre. About 6 months after they moved in, he was informed that his neighborhood was being taken over by an HOA. He disregarded his HOA application as he didn't wish to join. Not long after this, random neighbors began complaining to him directly about his boat and cars in his driveway, supposedly violating HOA rules. He just informed the often rude people that he was not a member. They would argue with him that everyone was a member. One of the major issues is that his driveway, garage and front yard was on the main level of his home, and the backyard dropped down a cliff to level with his basement and backyard. So he had no way to back his boat around the side of the home into the backyard. Eventually, the HOA began harassing him with threats if he didn't move his boat to the backyard. His backyard had been closed off by a vinyl fence the HOA installed and lined another road back there. So one day my uncle decided to compromise by trying to take down a section of his back fence so he could make a gate for boat parking access. The HOA called the police on him for destruction of property. The police left my uncle with a warning if the fence was returned to proper condition by the end of the day. Uncle put the fence back up and placed his boat back in his front driveway. Now the fines started coming week after week, month after month, and when the fines reached 10K, the HOA filed a lawsuit against him. He countersued for the harassment and street access to his backyard. In court, the HOA showed the HOA boundaries and showed my uncle's house was in the middle of the HOA, explained the violations and the police report filed over the back fence. My uncle explained that he never signed up for the HOA, moved into the neighborhood before the HOA existed, never gave them permission to fence in his backyard, provided all mortgage documentation, and a blank HOA application with the HOA security stamp and date. The HOA argued that it did not matter if he didn't turn in his application because he was within the HOA borders. The judge declared my uncle's property was grandfathered as private property and not part of the HOA. The HOA was to immediately take down their illegal fence on the back border of my uncle's lot, and since the HOA had fined my uncle 10K plus in illegal fines, my uncle was owed 10K plus in damages for the harassment. My uncle then rebuilt his yard fence in see-through chain link with a gate where he parks all his toys in full view. He moved the boat from the driveway to his front lawn, let the lawn die, and paved it over, all 10 feet from his front door to the sidewalk. HOA neighbors in the decades since still approach him to complain, and he just tells them to take a walk knowing there is nothing they can do to him. And yeah guys, this uncle definitely won against the HOA, and that is an inspiring story. If you got problems with your HOA, you should strive to be like this uncle. Because as you can see, sometimes it is not enough to not just join the HOA, sometimes they will still try to harass you, so you have to be on alert. The next one is titled, Insane Lady Almost Got Me. Some years ago, my wife and I organized a holiday assistance program for our church. In October, families register for the Thanksgiving and Christmas giveaways. Usually, the Monday before Thanksgiving is when we distribute the Thanksgiving dinner. This included a turkey breast or turkey and all that was needed to make a Thanksgiving dinner. Amount of food was dependent upon family size. So the breakdown was something like this. 1 to 2 people, turkey breast with all the rest. These were 4 to 5 pounds of just turkey meat. 3 to 4 people, which would be around 10 to 12 pounds of turkey with the rest. 5 to 6 people would be 12 to 15 pounds of turkey with all the rest. You get the idea. So distribution day arrives and things are going as well as we are going to move about 500 families through in 4 hours. I act as the gatekeeper, no one in the building without their appointment card and ID. Once in, they sign in with my wife and we bring all they need as they walk down and head out another door. Somewhere in the middle of this time, my wife comes out to get me as we have a person who is not happy. I go in and there is Karen. She eyeballs me hard in disbelief. I'm not in uniform like normal. The conversation goes something like this. Me, what seems to be the problem? Karen, I'm here to pick up the dinner for me and my husband, and this lady won't give us a turkey. Note that she sort of sneered the word lady. Also, my wife is Hispanic and does have a small accent when she speaks, which most ignorant people assume that she is not in charge or intelligent. Rather than argue, she usually just grabs me. Me, ma'am, we are giving you a turkey. It's the turkey breast which has more than enough meat for you and your husband. Further, we allocate the turkeys based on family size and we simply don't have any extra to give you. Karen, this is not good enough. We need a turkey. Note she is not yelling, but all eyes are definitely on us. Also, she is holding the box we gave her with everything. Me, I'm sorry ma'am, let me take back what you have and I'll see what I can do. I take back the box and hand it off to one of the staff and then turn back around. Me, okay ma'am, again I'm sorry. We were not able to accommodate your wishes today. The exit is this way and you have a happy Thanksgiving. Karen, dumbfounded. Wait, what? Me? You have expressed that this meal was not good enough for you, and I would never impose upon anyone something they consider to be substandard. So again, the exit is this way and have a nice day. I walked her to the exit door, and as I walked back through the line to the entrance, I ask, is there anyone else with an issue they need addressing? A few audible nopes and a few chuckles were heard, but that was that. I will point out at Christmas time she was able to receive what she signed up for with no complaints, so I am glad she picked up on that. We were able to help around 500 families for each holiday, and our volunteers loved it. Entitled people bother me to no end, but she was one person in all of that, so it was definitely a success and worth it. And yeah, Reading Bears, sometimes entitled people can ruin everything for everyone. However, thankfully in this case OP remained calm and everything was fine. Imagine having the audacity though to be so entitled that you complain about free turkey. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to ReadingBear Studios on YouTube. And I see you again for the next video.